Imagine this: you're lying next to someone, skin to skin, breath to breath, but you still feel unseen. Their hands are on your body, but your soul feels untouched. You're there, fully present, but still deeply alone. That ache inside you is not about the lack of sex, it's about the absence of connection, and no one taught you the difference. We live in a world where women are told that desire is physical, that pleasure is about performance, that to want intimacy is to want sex. But the truth runs deeper than that. You don't want sex. You want to be felt, fully, deeply, without words, without pretense. You want someone to enter the space behind your eyes, to touch your body as if it were sacred, not just skin. And the reason so many women feel numb, disconnected, or unfulfilled isn't because they're broken. It's because they're not being touched in the way their soul is asking for. Their bodies respond to presence, not pressure. Their desire lives not in lust, but in emotional safety. This is not about shame. This is not about dysfunction. This is about truth. There is a part of you that's never craved the act itself, but the experience. The experience of being known, being seen without hiding, being held in silence that doesn't need to be filled. When you say you're not in the mood, when you feel tension instead of softness, when your body shuts down instead of opening, that is not rejection. That is protection. It is your body saying, please don't take from me unless you can feel me. Most women are not afraid of touch. They are afraid of being touched by someone who cannot feel them. Desire is not something you owe. It's something that awakens when your nervous system feels safe enough to let go. And safety doesn't begin in the body. It begins in the presence of the other, in their eyes, in their breath, in how they listen without rushing, in how they wait for you to open instead of forcing you to perform. So many women have learned to give their bodies while holding their hearts back. They've learned to survive connection without truly feeling it. They've been touched without ever being received. And that's where the ache begins. You start to feel like something's wrong with you, like your body is betraying you for not wanting more. But your body isn't numb. It's wise. It's waiting for slowness, for stillness, for someone who doesn't just want to be inside your body, but inside your soul. You may find yourself craving silence more than sex. You may find yourself longing for presence more than passion. You may feel more aroused by eye contact than by physical stimulation. That's not brokenness. That's your feminine intelligence asking to be honored, because true intimacy isn't about what's done. It's about what's felt, and what's felt cannot be faked. When you shut down, when you withdraw, when you lose interest, you're not avoiding connection. You're trying to protect the parts of you that have never felt safe inside it. And the truth is, you're not alone. There are millions of women who walk through life wondering why they don't feel what everyone else seems to feel. They perform, they pretend, they try, but nothing touches them, because no one ever told them that their desire is sacred, that their body is not wrong, that they do not need to explain their need for slowness, softness, safety. Maybe you were told that wanting to be felt made you needy. Maybe you were told that sex was a way to keep someone close. Maybe you learned to say yes when your body whispered no. And now, years later, you don't feel anything. That's not failure. That's the scar of disconnection. But here's the good news. The feeling you long for is still alive in you. It's not gone. It's buried. Beneath the pressure, beneath the noise, beneath the silence you've been carrying. It can be touched again, but not by more effort. Not by forcing yourself to want what you don't feel. It comes back through truth, through presence, through unlearning what you thought intimacy had to look like, because you were never looking for sex. You were looking for sanctuary. And when the right presence enters the room, your body will remember. It will soften. It will breathe. It will open. Not out of obligation, but out of trust. That softness you crave doesn't come from someone's hands. It comes from the way they look at you, like you're not a task, not a goal, not a body to conquer. It comes from the silence that holds you without rushing, from the presence that listens without solving, from the kind of attention that makes your body feel like it has permission to exist, just as it is. You may have noticed this already, how your body responds to being seen, how your breath shifts when someone really notices you, not in a sexual way, but in a human way. When they ask how you are, and you feel they actually want the answer. When they touch your hand, and you feel their energy pours inside the moment. That is what opens you. Not dominance, not skill, not performance, but presence. The feminine body blooms in the presence of safety. Not the kind of safety that's promised with words, but the kind that's felt in energy. When you don't feel like you need to explain your emotions, when your slowness is not a problem, when your depth is not too much, that's when your body says yes, not because it's supposed to, but because it's ready, because it's invited, not demanded, because it feels worshipped, not evaluated. You may not have words for this, because no one taught you how to name it, but your body has always known. It knows when something feels off. It knows when something is missing, even if the other person is kind, even if they love you, even if you love them. It's not about the surface, it's about the space between you, the energy that lives there, the way they breathe around your fear, the way they stay when you go quiet, the way they ask without taking. You don't want to be touched, you want to be met. You want to feel like someone is reaching into the space you've never let anyone see, that quiet place inside you that still hopes, that still longs, that still aches. And until that space is honored, sex will feel empty. You'll say yes and feel numb. You'll go through the motions and wonder why it leaves you feeling more alone. And maybe you'll blame yourself. You'll ask if you're broken. You'll wonder if you've lost your passion. But your passion was never lost. It was simply waiting for a presence that knows how to feel you, not just your body, but your soul. The part of you that never wanted to be used, only seen, only heard, only loved, in silence, in slowness, in stillness. If you've ever felt a gap between what you say and what you feel, the Jung Method helps you understand why. Link in the first comment. Now breathe and come back to yourself, because the ache you carry isn't about not wanting sex. It's about not wanting to be taken by someone who doesn't know how to hold you. It's about fearing that your body will be used when your soul is asking to be felt, that you'll give more than you receive, that you'll be left full of silence and empty of connection. Many women are stuck in this quiet war between their longing and their resistance. You want closeness, you want skin, you want surrender, but every time someone gets too close, your body clenches, and you think something's wrong with you. You think you're broken, cold, detached, but you're not. Your body has memory. It remembers the times it was touched without tenderness. It remembers the moments you said yes with your mouth, but no with your heart. It remembers the pressure to be desirable when you didn't feel safe. And now, it protects you, not because it's shutting down, but because it's waiting for something real. Real doesn't rush. Real doesn't push. Real meets you where you are and stays. The body of a woman is not a door you walk through with the right words. It's a temple you enter only when you've been invited by her energy, by her breath, by her silence, by her surrender, not her submission. The feminine doesn't open on command. She opens when she feels safe, when she feels seen, when she feels like there's room for her softness, not just her shape. So if you've ever wondered why you say no when you want to say yes, why your desire disappears in moments it should appear, why you crave depth but avoid touch, know this: you are not rejecting love, you are rejecting the shallow version of it, the one that asks for your body but not your truth, the one that wants your curves but not your chaos, the one that praises your beauty but fears your depth. Your desire is not gone. It's just been hidden under years of performance. You've spent so long trying to be what someone else wants that you forgot how to feel what you want. You forgot that it's okay to want stillness, to want presence, to want to be held without being taken, to want touch that doesn't demand but listens. You forgot that your longing is not dirty, it's not needy, it's divine, because the feminine doesn't crave sex. She craves resonance, and resonance begins with a TTUNEMENT. It begins with someone who hears what your silence is saying, who doesn't just ask what you want, but feels it before you speak. Someone who touches your hand and slows down to meet your breath. Someone who doesn't see you as a moment, but as a mystery. And maybe you've never had that. Maybe your body has only known rushed hands and impatient lips. Maybe you've only ever felt like a body to be consumed. But that is not the limit of what you're worthy of. You are allowed to want more. More stillness, more reverence, more time. You are allowed to want someone who sees the part of you that hides when things get physical. You are allowed to say no until your whole body says yes. You are allowed to wait for a presence that knows how to feel you, not just take you, because your body is not a task. It's a landscape, and only those who move slowly will learn how to read it. Only those who stay will understand how to hold it. And when that presence arrives, or when you become that presence for yourself, your body will soften again. It will trust again. It will open again. not as a performance, not out of fear of losing someone, but because it finally feels like it can come home. That's what you've been waiting for all along. Not sex, not passion, but home. A place inside someone where you don't have to hide, where you can fall apart and still be wanted, where your tears are welcome and your slowness is sacred, where your desire is not rushed and your no is never punished. That's the kind of intimacy your body remembers, even if you've never had it, because your nervous system has always known what safety feels like, and it knows when it's missing. So stop asking why you don't feel what they tell you you should. Stop trying to force your body into hunger when it's asking for gentleness. Stop blaming yourself for needing more than touch, because what you need is sacred, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You don't want sex. You want to be felt, to be heard, to be held in the silence between breaths, to be kissed with presence, not pressure, to be touched with reverence, not expectation. That kind of touch heals, that kind of intimacy awakens, that kind of presence brings your body back to life. And when that happens, when you feel that kind of connection, you won't need to perform. You won't need to pretend. You'll just feel open, alive, safe, wanted, not for what you give, but for what you are. And that is the moment you'll remember you were never numb. You were never cold. You were never broken. You were waiting for someone to feel you. And now, you know, you are allowed to want more. And you are worthy of waiting for it. Asterisk, and maybe now. As you breathe through everything you've just heard, something is shifting inside you. Not because someone else has finally understood you, but because you are beginning to understand yourself. The way your heart has been speaking through silence. The way your body has been setting boundaries before your mind could explain why. The way your longing has never been weakness, but truth, asking to be honored. There is a strength in naming what you truly need. There is healing in saying, I don't want to be touched if I won't be felt. I don't want to be close if I still feel alone. I don't want to give my body if my soul has to hide. And that clarity is not cold. It is sacred. It protects you. It keeps your softness safe until the day it is met with real presence. The kind that doesn't ask you to shrink. The kind that doesn't fear your depth. The kind that doesn't run when you speak from your center. This part of you has waited a long time to feel safe again, to stop pretending, to stop performing. And now, for the first time in a long time, she knows she's not wrong for wanting more. More stillness, more feeling, more soul. Because the truth is, you don't just want to be desired. You want to be known, not by what you do or how you look, but by what you are when you stop hiding. That is the moment the healing begins. And that is the moment your body finally says yes, not from fear, not from habit, but from peace.